Imagine your brain as a massive, busy city. There are traffic lights, workers, and messages flying everywhere to keep things running. Usually, the city runs on a strict schedule. But what happens when you throw a wrench in the gears? Drugs are basically hackers. They don't just add a new feeling. They break into your brain's communication center and start pressing buttons they shouldn't. They can speed up the traffic, cut the power, or make you see things that aren't there. You might feel like a superhero, or you might feel like you are melting into the couch. But why? What is physically happening behind your eyes to make you feel that way? Today, we are decoding the chemistry of the 7 most common substances. We are stripping away the complex biology and explaining exactly how they change your reality. Let's dive in. First up, let's talk about the world's most popular plant, marijuana. To understand the high, you have to meet a chemical your body already makes called anandamide. Think of anandamide as a chill pill your brain produces naturally. Its job is to turn off the bouncers, inhibitory neurotransmitters in your brain so that dopamine can flow freely. It makes you feel relaxed and calm, but your body breaks anandamide down very quickly, so the feeling doesn't last. Enter THC. THC is the active ingredient in weed, and it is a master of disguise. It looks exactly like anandamide, so it sneaks in and binds to those same receptors. But unlike the natural stuff, THC doesn't leave. It camps out. Because THC holds the chill button down, you feel a wave of relaxation. But it also slows down your processing speed. You might feel like time is stretching out. You might find yourself staring at a wall for 10 minutes, fascinated by the texture. And because anandamide is involved in deleting short-term memories, you might start a sentence and completely forget how it ends. Your brain's save button is temporarily jammed. Next, the one you see at every party, alcohol. People think it gives them energy because they get loud and dance on tables. But biologically, alcohol is a depressant. It is a wet blanket for your brain. It hits you with a double whammy. First, it boosts a chemical called GABA. GABA is your brain's brake pedal. When GABA is high, you move slower and think slower. Alcohol slams this pedal to the floor. Second, it blocks glutamate. Glutamate is the gas pedal that keeps your brain excited and firing. Alcohol cuts the fuel line. With the brakes on and the gas cut, you start to malfunction. Your speech slurs because your tongue can't keep up with your thoughts. You stumble because your balance center is offline. You feel confident because the part of your brain that worries about consequences has been shut down. You aren't actually a better dancer. You just stopped caring that you are a bad one. Now, let's speed everything up. Cocaine is all about dopamine, the chemical of reward and pleasure. Normally, after dopamine sends a happy message, little vacuum cleaners called transporters suck it back up to be recycled. This keeps things balanced. Cocaine destroys this balance. It blocks the vacuums. Imagine turning on a faucet and plugging the drain. The water, dopamine, has nowhere to go, so it just floods the room. You feel like a king. Your ego inflates. You feel sharp, powerful, and intensely talkative. But cocaine also hits the part of your brain that manages voluntary movement. This is why users get coke jaw or tap their feet incessantly. They literally cannot sit still. They are fidgety, twitchy, and constantly checking their phone. But when the drug wears off, the faucet turns off, and there is no dopamine left. This leads to a harsh, depressive crash. LSD doesn't just speed you up or slow you down. It takes your reality and puts it through a kaleidoscope. LSD mimics serotonin, a chemical that manages mood and perception. But it's a messy mimic. It binds to receptors in unpredictable ways, sometimes exciting them, sometimes blocking them. Crucially, it hits a part of the brain called the locus coeruleus. This area acts as a sensory hub. When LSD touches it, the wires get crossed. Your senses start mixing. You might hear a color or taste a sound. A boring white wall might start breathing or shifting into geometric shapes. Because the locus coeruleus creates a startle response, everything feels significant. A leaf falling from a tree might feel like the most profound thing you have ever seen. You feel a loss of self melting into the universe, which can be beautiful or absolutely terrifying depending on your mindset. Ecstasy, or Molly, is the ultimate feel-good drug. It also targets serotonin, but it does something bizarre. Remember those vacuum cleaners, transporters we talked about with cocaine? Ecstasy confuses them. Instead of sucking serotonin out of the gap, the transporters start working in reverse. They pump massive amounts of stored serotonin into the gap. It is an explosion of emotional warmth. You don't just feel happy. You feel deeply connected to everyone around you. You want to hug your friends, touch soft textures, and talk about your deepest secrets. Your perception of touch becomes electric. But physically, your body's thermostat breaks. You might overheat without realizing it. Your jaw clenches involuntarily, and you feel an intense thirst. It is a wave of love, followed by a week of sadness when your serotonin supplies are totally empty. If cocaine is a flood, meth is a tsunami. It mimics dopamine so well that the transporters actually pull it into the cell. Once inside, meth is destructive. It breaks into the storage vaults where dopamine is kept and kicks it all out. Then, it reverses the transporters to pump that dopamine out into your brain at lethal speeds. The user feels invincible. We are talking about a level of focus and energy that is not natural. You might feel like you can clean your entire house with a toothbrush or take apart a radio and put it back together. But this intensity leads to obsessive behavior. Users might pick at their skin or grind their teeth until they crack. The pleasure is so high that normal life, food, sleep, friends, feels completely gray and boring by comparison. Finally, we have the heavy hitter, heroin. Your body actually has its own natural painkillers called opiates. They are released when you get hurt to stop the pain. Heroin mimics these natural painkillers but multiplies the effect by 1,000. It binds to receptors and shuts down the brakes on dopamine completely. It is a total release. It is instant relief. Users describe it like being wrapped in a warm, heavy blanket. All physical pain vanishes. All emotional worry disappears. You feel a dreamlike state of nodding, where you drift in and out of consciousness. But there is a dark side. These same receptors tell your lungs to breathe. If you take too much, your brain simply forgets to tell your body to take a breath, and you fade away. So there you have it. Every drug is just a chemical key turning a lock that wasn't meant to be opened. Your brain is a delicate machine, and while these hacks might feel good in the moment, the repair bill is often higher than you think. Thanks for watching. Did any of these mechanisms surprise you? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into your mind.